welcome to the soap. I'm Arthur, and I'm joined by Cav and Mike.
Yep.
We'll also be speaking about
Hey guys,
the
how
very
we going?
exciting Logan.
Nice.
Or maybe the not very exciting Logan.
Up for debate, I think.
So what do you all think?
I liked it. It was not your usual superhero flick, as you'll find out whenever you decide to watch them. It deviated from the old comic book, like they took from the Old Man Logan comic, obviously, where it was designed, the final trilogy, I guess you could say, to the Wolverine series. Are we posting spoilers, or what's going on there?
I think you can safely spoil it,
Yeah,
especially because we're doing a review.
It's been out for a while. I mean, Logan dies. Logan's dead. He's a dead man. Dead, gone, finished. Sayonara. Everyone was like, you can't kill him, but
I mean, surely that was obvious given the fact that it's named Logan and it's like being advertised as the last film.
No. I mean, you could have had him as, he retires, gets a little property or something or other, and then he passes the mantle on to the girl, and then she, rides off to the sunset, and that's it. That's that. They could have done that, couldn't they? They could have said, hey, he's grown old, and that's it.
Pop quiz. Do you know who the girl is?
X-23.
Yes.
I know. I know a bit of my comics. I know. Not an aficionado, but I do read them, and I do go on Wikipedia and look up fucking.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's easy on that basis.
I liked it. It was, it had a bit of comedy. Like Patrick Stewart was quite funny. Professor. He was the typical old man, and he's like, and the girl was a little bit annoying. The terms like when she doesn't have much dialogue, but then she does, and then it's not very good. And you're like, well, she didn't. She had a personality that came at the end. She could have had that at the start. Like, I don't see why they couldn't have had her being, say, a little chatty, however old she was, like a 10-year-old or something or other, or a teenager. I don't know. But I wasn't too happy with her. But Logan was doing his usual self, a bit grumpier than usual. But
bit old, bit grumpy, bit I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there was also the underlying thing of where the Charles has killed off the mutants through a brain seizure or whatever, and like you guys all saw that kind of thing, heard that, like when they were in the movie about the Winchester incident.
Yeah. Well, I think the implication is that
killed them all. Yeah,
he basically killed a whole bunch of people.
See, I mean, in the comic, I think it was Old Man Logan or whatever got brainwashed by some guy and killed them himself, thinking they were intruders. But I think they just changed it up so that Charles was the monster.
Yeah, I can't speak for the comic. But
okay.
Well, the only thing is, as I said, they talk about the Winchester incident, but they don't go into much detail as to what it's all about.
I think that's the point. They didn't do that on purpose.
True, and my thing is, I want to know more about that incident.
You go on Wikipedia.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the comic. I know it's based on it because I watch a show on YouTube called Comic Book Girl 19. When she reviewed it, she mentioned it. But apart from that, I would never have known it's based on a specific comic. I would just assume. Because the thing is, like, the way that the story is written, it could be anything. It doesn't have to be X-Men.
Well, that's just
yes, that's true. I mean, the way the movie is almost like a normal movie. That's why it's as Mike said, it's not like a specific hero movie. It could translate into anything really, and that's
more like
the beauty
an
of
action
it.
drama. Yeah,
correct.
It could just be a run-of-the-mill thriller.
I remember someone saying it could be classified as a western too.
Yeah, it could easily be.
Yes, that's true. It's I'm not sure if you saw the movie they had running in when Professor X and X-23 were in the hotel. They were watching that movie
with John Wayne.
Yeah, that old movie. I can't remember the movie it's called, but it's very much like that.
I do like the girl, so from my point of view, I really like her character. I actually really like the fact that she was silent most of the film. I think it kind of adds to the charm.
Well, anyway, Logan's good. Watch it. Whatever. I don't care. Right. All right, guys.
Bye. So in terms of Logan, what I would say, I like the girl. I like the fact that she was silent. What I don't like about the film is actually a fair amount I don't like.
Ooh. Okay, lay it out.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it's a bad film, but part of my issue with it is that it's really it has very obvious beats where everything that happens in it you expect it to happen that way.
Yes.
The story kind of plods along, and because of the marketing campaign because of the way that they sold it. You almost know exactly what's going to happen. As soon as you hear certain bits of dialogue, you know that there'll be a scene later on that would relate to this.
Correct.
The only thing probably as exception is probably the ending a little bit, because I thought he would actually go with them. That whole bit where he like sleeps in
Yeah.
and then he wakes up and goes, "Oh shit, they're being attacked."
Yes. I see what you mean. See, for me, I pretty much I expected the ending. I expected him to die at the end, so I wasn't surprised with that. I was, however, as you said, the movie was a bit too predictable for me.
Mm.
The last action sequence at the end there wasn't very satisfying at all. I don't know, but as I said, I love the movie itself, but I did have a few complaints with it, and the ending was one of the things I wasn't happy with.
That's the one. That one's the big one. The other one I'd say is that the bad guy is a little bit too on the nose, if you know what I mean. It's just, oh, okay, it's another evil corporation like Umbrella Corp or some shit like that. So they're so bad that they're using children in their experiments, turning them into weapons of war, and then they decide, fuck it, we're just gonna kill the children and use clone evil mutants that look exactly like a younger version of Hugh Jackman, just with CGI face.
Yes, correct. And that seems to be the new thing these days, and everybody does it. A younger version of somebody with a CGI face, and I understand why they did it in certain movies. Like, have you seen Rogue One?
I haven't. I know that they did.
Grand Moff, what's his name?
Tarkin?
Tarkin, that's him. Yeah. I don't understand why he was in it as much as he was. I think a lot of the Star Wars nerds loved it, the fact that he was in there. And the CGI worked okay. Actually, I didn't mind the CGI in that. I understand why they put in Carrie Fisher as a younger version of herself. That kind of made sense, and that led into episode 4. That was a good transition into episode 4, and I understand why they did that. But again, a CGI version of Wolverine or Logan, to me, that didn't work quite as well as I had hoped it would.
I didn't mind that because, he was still him. It was just a bit of shit shoved on his face. Like, the whole thing wasn't CGI.
Yeah.
My issue with it is just a little bit like, have you ever seen Army of Darkness?
No,
that
I
movie?
haven't.
It's got like a really famous scene where Bruce Campbell, where he fights himself.
Yeah.
And then there's this whole like, I'm bad Ash, I'm good Ash, I'm bad Ash. And then he shoots himself, like the other one.
Yeah.
And he says, I'm not that good. But the whole thing is played for laughs because it's kind of a comedy film almost. It's a great movie.
So, yeah, I think I've heard a lot of good stuff about. They've got several of those, haven't they? Like 2, 3
Evil
or
Dead
so.
3.
Yeah.
This was Evil Dead 3: Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
It was already Evil Dead 1 and 2. And it's got Bruce Campbell. It's made by Sam Raimi, who did the Spider-Man films.
The Spider
later.
movies, yeah. Because I know Bruce Campbell makes a few cameo appearances in those movies.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I do like Bruce Campbell. He's a brilliant, B-grade actor. So to speak.
Have you read his novel that he wrote, an autobiography? Do you know what he called it?
What?
If Chins Could Kill.
That's a perfect title for him.
Yeah,
perfect.
It's like the Chronicles of a B-grade actor or something like that. It's pretty great.
Yeah. Yes, he's got a great chin on him for sure. Now, in terms of Logan, though.
Well, that's the point. So that whole bit, because I associate any of that kind of character v character mirror match type thing, or Nega Scott in Scott Pilgrim when he fights, like the video game type thing. It's hard to take it seriously because of that. So any drama is straight away lost. I almost would have preferred they cloned anyone else. They could have cloned Cyclops, anyone.
Yes.
Rather than himself back against himself. It just seems bizarre.
And that's the thing. They didn't have to put himself against himself. You know what I mean? They could have cloned any.
Yeah, that's the point.
Any of the X-Men, any of them. Jean Grey, anybody. Certainly they didn't have to have himself fight himself.
Pick a different X-Men. That's
good
fine.
point.
Make it a bit more interesting. I'm not saying that that's the difference between the film being bad or good. That's not something. That's a very nitpicky almost type of thing. But it's just like a personal association.
Not all good. In terms of the pace of the movie, though, did you find it okay, or did you have any problems with that?
The pacing is fine. The acting's pretty great all around. It's kind of a chase movie, but because the bad guys aren't especially compelling, you don't ever expect them to win. I don't know about you, but I never felt like they were much of a threat. Like they always felt kind of like one note, and because they were so obviously bad, all the goons that would just be killed indiscriminately. When the guys get sent to essentially capture and kill a little girl, you're just kind of like, well, you're gonna die, and when you get a claw into your face and get half of it ripped off, no one's gonna fucking give a shit. Like it's not gonna feel like it's not gonna feel as impactful as I'm sure they theoretically were hoping it would, based on the fact that it's R-rated, or in Australia it's MA.
Yeah.
Simply because you don't care about the person whose face is getting ripped off.
Correct. I'm sure they probably did this on purpose, but the villain in the movie, it's not a well-known X-Men, like a well-known villain amongst the general population, unless you're right into the comic books and that kind of stuff. The goons who come in, you just look at them and you think, oh, they're just goons. But when you look at the backstory of them, the story of the Reavers and what they are in the comic books, they're much more interesting, and they don't come across like that in the movie itself. They're just goons who look weird and who get their asses kicked.
Yeah.
And as you said, nobody gives a shit that they get their asses kicked. But when you actually look into the comic books themselves, there's more of a story and you understand it a lot more. It just doesn't translate in the movie as well as I thought it would.
I wish I had a bit more with Caliban. A bit more background stuff about what happened. Like, why are all the mutants gone? Why are there no more mutants? Why is all this shit happening?
Yes, and that's my biggest beef with the whole movie. There's not enough backstory to tell you what's happened and why it's happened.
It makes it harder to give a shit, and that's kind of the problem.
And that's my biggest issue with the whole movie. I didn't mind the movie. As you said, the pacing is good, the acting is brilliant, all the good stuff. But in the end, I wasn't satisfied with the movie. It just told me a slither of the story, and I didn't actually get the whole picture. And I felt that there was a lot missing out of it.
Yeah, the fucked up thing is it took him this long to create. Like, because there's all this good stuff in it that you kind of just want to go, give me more. But you know there's not going to be more because it's the last one.
Correct.
So it's like, it's a fucking massive teaser for shit that'll never happen.
Yep, totally agree.
Like a very, very depressing, unsatisfying hand job. It's like,
oh, okay, I'm done. It's like, oh,
I'm almost gonna climax, and then they just give up, and that's it. There's nothing else to
say. My arm is tired. Like, oh, for fuck's sake. I was almost there.
Yeah. Which kind of distracts from it because it makes, and the thing is, a lot of what I'm saying is kind of petty in many ways, but it does distract enough from the film that, honestly, probably a couple of years from now, I don't think I'm going to look back on it and go, oh yeah, wow, what a great film.
Correct.
It'll just be a thing that happened, and we went to watch it, and it'll be entirely forgettable.
And unfortunately, that's the way it's been like with some of the, to me, I think most of the X-Men movies, they've been good, but not great. And this one is probably a good one, but it's not going to live long in my memory, and certainly it will just be another X-Men movie in the end, which didn't have many X-Men, which didn't tell me much of a story, and they all died, and I don't even know why they all died, and shits me, it really does.
It should, yeah. It's like they finally figured out a way to make the plot interesting, and that's it. That's the end.
That's the thing. It was interesting, and this was a brilliant. And to me, I think they had a lot of potential, just didn't give me that satisfaction that I was hoping for. So good movie, but slightly disappointing. That's my point of view, anyway.
And to put it like it, I did also kind of laugh that the black family get killed off. Like it's like a cliche.
Yes. That's actually interesting. Good point. I thought, oh well, this is interesting. This because they had the family. They went. He and the father and Logan went, confronted those people. By the time they came back, they're all dead. It's like, oh.
Which for someone pointed out, this is not my original thinking, but I did read someone's post on the internet, and they basically said that it's sort of done almost as a selfish act from Professor X, because he's the one that compelled them to stay.
Yes, good point.
So basically, their death is almost directly. It's like his desire for normalcy as well as making. I think because his idea presumably is to get Logan to feel more normal,
correct?
And feel more connected to the girl.
Yeah.
But that ends up causing the death of this family that had never never had any of that coming.
And I suppose that's what Logan says. Everybody he cares for always end up getting hurt.
Yeah.
In one way or another, and that just proves the point. It's like almost rubbing it in your face.
Yeah. So he has to die at the end, basically.
Yeah, it's going to end badly. So it's terrible. It's terrible. And you could, when the father survives and manages to come out with a shotgun or whatever, and you could tell he even blamed Logan, because when he confronts him,
yeah,
and actually tries to shoot him, when he just run out of bullets,
yeah,
and then he falls off dead. So,
well, it's like, well, yeah, my wife and son are dead because you're here. Awesome.
Yeah,
thanks.
Correct. Thanks.
I mean, I saved you. Kind of, because I thought you were him, maybe.
Yeah, correct. And that's the thing. That is, as I said, a lot of plot points, a lot of good, interesting stuff in there, but I don't know. A lot of people like it, and that's all good. Nothing wrong with that.
Do you think inevitably, is it doing well? Because this is the part I don't know.
Well, I can find out exactly how well it's doing. I used to have a website which tells you. Give me a second.
Because if it does do well, presumably this is going to... Because, it's already in the States. If this does as well as Deadpool,
yeah,
we're going to see a lot of these. And I'm curious if they'll make a sequel to this regardless. Like X-23 being the main character.
Would not surprise me if they did. I mean, that's the thing with Hollywood, though. If it makes enough coin, I'm sure they'll do something with it.
And then they'll fuck it up, of course.
Of course. The one time I tried to go to this website in 3-4 years and the server is down.
What's the website?
Oh, sorry. Boxofficemojo.com.
Oh, that's been around for ages.
I know. I used to go there all the time. It shows you all the American domestic and worldwide takings and stuff of all the movies. It's brilliant.
Yeah, damn it, douchebags. Why have to be down?
I literally haven't been there probably in the last 4 or 5 years, and this is the first time I've decided to go there, and it's down. It really is.
Oh, hang on. Wikipedia already has a box office on it.
Ah, beautiful.
Okay, so 523 million with a budget of 97 million. So
there
let's
you go.
assume that they probably spent 200 plus million doing advertising. 250 million, probably. That's still making money. That to me suggests that they're going to be making more of these.
That's success right there. Yes.
The bottom line success.
Now the question is how. I know Logan. Hugh Jackman has said he's not gonna obviously reprise the role again. That's the last time he's doing it. But if they offered him enough money, would he say yes and do it again?
No, I don't think he would. I think he's done and dusted. I think he's over it as well.
I would be. He's done it 17 years. That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. That's a long time right there. That's a lifetime. That's how old my daughter is. 17 years ago. Crazy. So yeah, I can understand him giving it up after such a long time. And
I would assume if they want to continue it, they'll continue with X-23, and they'll bring Logan back, but it'll be played by a different.
Quite possibly. If
they're not going to not have Wolverine.
That's the thing. With Wolverine, he's a mainstay in the X-Men movie universe, so to speak. Yeah, you'd think that they would continue with him in one form or another, whether it's a replacement person or whether it will be X-23 replacing him in a sense. But they will certainly have him continue one way or another.
But who would be the next Wolverine? That's the question.
Yes, correct. That's a very good question. I don't know who else would fit the mold as an actor. I don't know. I can't think of that one just yet.
I imagine he'd be someone like a Tom Hardy, maybe.
Oh, quite possible. Oh, yeah. That's good point. Like a Tom Hardy, definitely.
Very physical actor that does have the physicality for it.
Yeah, and the reason I think they would actually bring him in, and I think it's more to do with Deadpool as well, because I know the Deadpool 2 movie is going to be with Cable, the other main character in there. But I think Deadpool and Wolverine would also be a great love-hate relationship type movie. That'll be brilliant. But you got to get the right character with it. That's the only thing I was thinking. Maybe Hugh Jackman would do it again, but As you said, I don't think he would, based on what has happened and the way he's talked about it. I don't think it would happen either.
No, I think he's done.
Yeah.
And I think the thing is, it's like there's a certain aspect of it which is it's hard on him as well, like as an actor, because he has to maintain a certain physical shape for it,
Correct.
and he has to take roids pretty much to maintain that shape.
Well, that's true. I mean, he's not a young fella anymore. And
No,
so yeah, true.
that he might want to just a break just from that aspect.
I gotta take a break from the roid rage. The missus is complaining.
He doesn't want to have a heart attack at like 55.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is that with Logan, the characters, Caliban and all those stuff, they're a bit shallow compared to what I expected them to be. And that's it. I haven't read the comics religiously like Michael has, but I've read them every now and then when I can be bothered. And some of those characters are certainly a lot bigger and a lot more interesting than they translated in that movie. But again, the movie itself was good. It's certainly one of the better ones of the X-Men. Like the last Wolverine movie, I didn't like that very. Oh, was it the last one or the one before where he was in Japan or it was in World War II and all that stuff?
As in Wolverine Origins?
Was that Origins? Yeah, I think it might have been. Yes.
Well, Origins is the one that had the first version of Deadpool, which had the mouth taped
The mouth
shut.
also now, yes. I think it was on TV not too long ago. I saw it briefly 2-3 days ago.
The reason why they did that apparently is because the director of that film hated the Deadpool character, and it was like a on-purpose fuck you to his fans.
Oh, harsh. Ryan Reynolds was not happy with that.
No, I wouldn't imagine he would have been. So I don't want to give the film a verdict because that seems a bit. I find giving numbers to films really strange. What I would say is that it's quite flawed, and I struggle to care about what's actually happening in the characters. I enjoyed the interactions between Logan and the girl,
Yeah.
and between Logan, the girl, and Professor X. But
Yes.
apart from all that, the rest of it's kind of all fluff, and they could have shoved their characterizations into anything. It almost feels like they could have had a 30-minute sitcom, and it would have been fine.
Yeah.
The wacky hijinks of X-23 Logan, demented old like Professor X.
And I agree with that. Those were the only 3 interesting characters. The rest of them were just there to fill in the movie. That's how I look at it. None of them had any interesting. The villains were just the run-in-the-mill villains. Nothing interesting or special about them. But the dynamic between Professor X and Logan and X-23, X-23 and Professor X, that was brilliant. I love that.
And Caliban as well, to some extent.
Yes, to some extent, Caliban, exactly. But as I said, I wish there was more to him. But when he was on screen, he was actually an intriguing character, and he was actually very interesting. And I wanted to see more of that, but not to be.
So, do you want to give it a verdict?
No, I don't listen to verdicts anyway. If somebody says, "Oh, this movie 3 out of 5" or whatever, I don't usually listen to it. All I can say is the movie is good. I don't think it's as good as what a lot of people are saying. I think a lot of plot points were good, just not as fulfilling as I had hoped for. The main characters are brilliant, but the rest of the characters I felt were very shallow.
Yeah, they're filler, pretty much.
The fillers, correct. But otherwise, the movie was actually not too bad. Certainly go see it. I would recommend it to anybody. But as I said, make your own mind about it. It's not too bad, but nothing as great as some people have been making it out to be.
I don't think you're going to remember it a couple years from now.
Correct.
Except in the sense that it was the end of the Hugh Jackman era of Wolverine.
Correct. It would be a great one for trivia when says, what was the last movie Hugh Jackman played in as Wolverine? It's like, oh, I don't know. Logan, yeah.
That came out 15 years ago.
Exactly. That's it. I'll never ever think about that movie again. Gone. And nothing wrong with that. I can't remember when I last saw a really, really good movie.
When you say good movie, do you mean something that like made you feel things? That sort of.
Yes, correct. A movie that made me feel something like that. A movie that I cared about the characters, that I cared about what's happening in the movie. I can't remember a movie I've seen. I'm just being an asshole, I know, but I can't remember a movie that I last cared about. I'm trying to think of it.
I'm sure there was something else. My brain's just shat itself out of my ears.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking there's got to be a movie that I've seen in the past year or two that has been pretty good. but I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Clearly, it's not that good if we can't even fucking remember it.
I dare say it wasn't. Or at least it was a while back. Oh my goodness, that's terrible. Saying that though, I haven't watched many movies in the theaters lately. You know, Daniel always says, "Oh, come, let's go watch this." I'm thinking, "Oh, I can't be bothered."
I'm looking forward to Guardians too.
I've heard good things about Guardians. Apparently, they did the test screening of it, and it got a perfect 10 from everybody. I'm thinking, what? Apparently,
That sounds like Marvel fan wank.
That's what I'm thinking. They're building it up a bit much, but I'm hearing good things about it. But I don't want to build the hype too much and get excited and get let down. What else did I hear good things about? No, nothing else. I'm done.
Brain is mush. I mean, my only thing is, like, it's like, oh, for fuck's sake, like another fucking Marvel franchise is gonna have a whole 3 decades worth of films planned for it. I'm like, fuck off. I can't.
Well, that's the thing. And that's what shits me about Marvel movies. That's what shits me. They all have to somehow be connected. They've got this whole roadmap mapped all the way to 2020, whatever. Crazy. That's just money making right there. It's crazy.
I mean, it's fine. I don't. Obviously, I'm really glad in many ways that the nerds have taken over. But surely they can't do that to every single fucking film.
It's almost like everybody's wanting to do that.
My brain can only take so much.
Yeah, like DC Comics are trying to do it with the whole Justice League and all that stuff. They don't do it quite as well as Marvel Comics, but they're giving it a go.
I think not as well as a severe understatement. In this case.
You know what I've seen? I've seen a lot of the animated ones, the DC comic animated ones. They're brilliant. They're actually very, very good. I love them.
The films definitely not. Like, it's like
the films are just terrible.
Comparing the DC v Marvel stuff. So I know there's a lot of DC fan people, but let's say that the difference between the Marvelverse films and the DCverse films is that the Marvelverse films is like made by a professional carpenter and has made you like this beautiful piece of like really detailed piece of furniture.
Yes.
And then the DC stuff is like bits of paddle pop sticks glued together with PVA, where you can still see the PVA on the edges. Like, that's the difference.
You know what? I agree with you, because like I had high hopes for Batman versus Superman. That was thinking, yeah, brilliant. This is gonna be good. And then I saw the clusterfuck it turned out to be, and that was terrible, just a mess of a movie. And then I'm trying to get excited about Wonder Woman, but again, the trailer looks brilliant, but is it going to be any good? So I've lost hope in that sense. I don't even know whether the Justice League movies will be any better, but they keep on trying.
They just need one not terrible film. That would turn it all around.
That would be good.
But they haven't done that yet.
No, I mean, Batman, like the last Batman series, you know, that was actually not too bad. I didn't mind, you know, Batman Begins and all those.
The Nolanverse. Well, the Nolanverse is like a completely separate thing. Like, that's...
Correct. And that was actually good. That was actually pretty good. Like, they did the whole Superman thing before they did the whole reboot. And then I wasn't big into the Superman movies either. I didn't. And then when they tried to combine the two.
They never intended for that to be part of the same verse.
Correct.
It was more like the Marvel films were doing their thing, and they were doing completely separate things. And they're like, oh, hang on. These people are from the same universe. We can smash it all together. And
So no, it doesn't always work, unfortunately. But you're right. I just need probably a decent movie there, a good script, good director.
Someone that isn't Zack Snyder.
Yes, please, because he's fucking it up at the moment.
He's just such a boy. He's a kid. He's the kid that brought you your fucking shitty paddle pop stick put together with PVA glue. And like the handle doesn't fit properly, and it like breaks off as you grab it, and you have to smile and go, "Oh, good job, Zack Snyder. Thank you. I know you tried your hardest, so I couldn't really."
I'll put this on the fridge.
A for effort.
Yes, I know what you mean. Maybe he'll get it right one day. Maybe.
And on that note, thank you all for listening, and I'll say goodbye from me and Mike, who's already gone, technically speaking, and Andrew, and we'll see you at the next recording. Catch you on the flip side.